What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about 10 books that influenced me between when I was younger and now. So my first book of my choice is going to be Quantum Supremacy from Michio Kaku, and this book was made in 2013 and it was published and copyrighted in 2013, but and also here's his picture of what he looks like. His autograph came out in 2017. So this is what the book looks like, and it's a good book. So I'm going to describe a brief description of what the book's about. So the book is about mostly quantum mechanics, quantum computers, mostly quantum computer, on how he thinks in the future the quantum computers is going to be a new thing. It's going to be the one because there's some people that say there's a special type of computer, I can't remember the name right now, that can do 5 or 6 steps within a minute, which is it's more than a regular computer. It's like a maze. I can't really describe how it is, but it's really cool. And quantum computers are a new thing now, and quantum computers, I think it's going to be more towards the future, and it does more calculations, like math calculations, and like any human can do. That's what they do, and how it's going to be a new, clean, safe, renewable energy. This is all what the book is about. So if you're interested in reading it, like, if y'all nerds like me where you like to study like tech, this is a good book for y'all to read. My second book choice would be Sun Shield, which I started reading recently. It's about a book from Emily B. Martin, and the book was made in which I'm not sure if this is actually correct, but it says here 2020. And I started reading. It's pretty good. It's just basically during the time period of the Canyon of Hagoro, which I started reading recently, so I'm not sure too much about it, but it is a good book, a good novel. And basically, so the story takes place in the desert, and there's an outlaw called Lark, known to be most as Sun Shield Bandit, has built a name for herself, attacking slavers' wagons and freeing the captives inside. So it's kind of like a superhero book, kind of, which I really recommend if you all like adventure. This is a good book. My third book of choice, which I've been reading, it's back in high school where we had to read like summer reading, is Dear Martin. So it's about this book from Nick Stone, and it came out in, if I'm not mistaken, it says here 2013. I could be wrong though, but the author looks like he has won a bunch of Nobel Prizes and all that. And this book is that this guy was wrongly convicted of murder, and he has to go to trial to show that he's innocent. And it's a pretty deep. If y'all into law books, I recommend you all to read this. I read it. It was good. Basically he has to save his life, do whatever it takes, and he has a good lawyer, which she was on his side. And yeah, I'm trying to read more a little bit because I kind of lost memory of what the book was about, because it's been a little while since I read this book. I might need to go back and read it. But basically that's what it is. So he was wrongly convicted of murder, and he has to do whatever it takes to get back on track with his life. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's in college, so he is trying to be back to himself after he was wrongly convicted. My next book is A Separate Piece from John Knowles. This book was made in I think in the year of 2007, supposedly what it says here. Oh no, 1959. And this book, it's about like World War II, like what happened during this time of this story after World War II, and how people had to build the world up again and all that. So basically, I'm going to tell you guys like a little description on the back of the book. Set as a boys' boarding school in New England during the early years of World War II, A Separate Peace is a harrowing and luminous parable of the dark side of adolescence. Jean is a lonely, introverted, intellectual, and Phoenix is a handsome, taunting, daredevil athlete. What happens between the two friends one summer, like the war itself, vanishes the innocence of these boys in the world. A bestseller for more than 50 years, A Separate Peace is John Nola's crowning achievement and an undisputed American classic. So, I mean, I read it. We did a summer reading in high school. It was a good book. Now, my next one is Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. I recommend you all to read this, like 100%. This is also another book I did summer reading in high school. And basically, what the book is about is... Oh wait, I should tell you the date first. So this book came out in... So it came out in 2014, but the paperback book was created in 2015. And basically, I'm going to tell you a brief description. This is a law book, and it just talks about how, lawyers interact and all that. So basically, it says here, from one of the most brilliant, in which this author, he's a lawyer too in real life. From one of the most brilliant and influential lawyers of our time comes an unforgettable true story about the redeeming potential of mercy. Bryan Stevenson was a gifted young attorney when he founded the Equal Justice Initiative, a legal practice dedicated to defending the poor, the wrongly condemned, and those trapped in the furthest reaches of our criminal justice system. Mostly, I'm going to tell you a brief description in my own words. So mostly this is a lawyer book. If you are interested in lawyering, get this book. And it teaches you a little bit here and there about lawyers in the justice system. But it's actually a true story of what happened here, but it's about a person's life, the author's life a little bit here and there. But if you are interested in reading lawyer books, read this one too. So let's get to the next one. So this one is Born in Crime by Trevor Noah, another book I used to read in summer reading. Basically, this book was made in, I think 2015, if I'm mistaken. I think it's 2015. Some of these books, I don't see a date when it was created, but I think it's 2015 because I remember reading that. And anyway, so the description of the book is the compelling, inspiring, and comedically sublime story of one man's coming of age set during the twilight of apartheid and the tremendous days of freedom that followed. So this book took place in South Africa, and back then life was not good. So like there's crime rates rising, and basically this kid, or in the book, he was wrongfully convicted of stealing, so he had to kind of save his life there too, and so he had to do whatever it takes for him to be back to normal, so they don't put him into jail or something like that in South Africa. My next book of choice is The Epic of Gilgamesh. This is what it looks like, and this book was, I don't think I see an author's. Oh, okay, N.K. Sanders, and this book was made in, I'm trying to find the date, 1972. So basically, this is the story of Gilgamesh in the time of Mesopotamia. So if you're interested in history, I recommend you all to read this book. It's a very good book, and it tells you the map of the world and all that, and supposedly this is based on a true story. I've read it, I liked it. I'm not sure if I believe in it. And Gilgamesh is the king of Uruk, and his companion Enkidu are the greatest of the heroes. So basically, this story took place between Babylon, Mesopotamia, and that area there. And they're superheroes, so it's like a legend told from them. Their story, their side of the story, and all that. So if you're all interested in history, read this. My next book of choice would be if I can find it, I'll use this. Because sometimes I get bored and all that. I always do crossword, so it helps me to read and learn new words and all that, words I never heard of. And sometimes, it's not reading, you're doing crossword, but I do count it as a book, because you're doing crossword, you're learning as you're going. So that is my next book. And so I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my next book, which I don't have on me right now, I don't have it, but I'm gonna put a picture on the screen. So it would be Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the whole series. I like them all. So the reason why I chose that book from Jeff Kinley is because those books helped me, well, not really helped me, but I learned from middle school. Back in the time when I was in middle school, I kind of represented myself as Diary of a Wimpy Kid, because I do felt the same way as he did, a little bit here and there. Like I had kind of like a hard time there, a little bit, but it's not too much to what he has in his life. But it is a good book if you're all interested in reading it. And I learned it from them too. And then my last book would be Percy Jackson Sea of Monsters. There's a whole series collection of it by Rick Riordan. So that book came out in 2014, and it's a whole series collection, which I have them, but I don't have them with me during the video. I learned, when I was younger, I was like Percy Jackson. I like history, I like all that. So I read the book, and basically it's about the story of Percy Jackson, which is the main character of the movie and the book and all that. He has to find his mother, because his mother was kidnapped from Hades, and he has to go on a journey because he's the son of Poseidon, and everyone's trying to basically get him because they think he stole a lightning bolt. So he has to find a way to get his mother back from Hades, and then convince Hades that he didn't steal the lightning bolt. So basically it's a story about in the ancient Greek mythology and all that. So if you're all interested in reading that, I suggest you all to read it. And then back to Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So the year it came out was in 2007. In 2007 was when the book was made and then first published. And supposedly, I'm reading here, there are 17 books in the series in 84 editions and 69 languages, which is impressive. And the book has been sold in more than 275 million copies globally, so like around the world, which is a pretty good book for anyone that's younger, like a children's book. Which I don't read it as much before. Now as than before. I read more like novels and Percy Jackson books. Which Percy Jackson, I read it last year, year before, because I've always liked the movie but never read the book until now. And ever since I've been reading, I could not even stop myself from reading more. I kept going. And so thank you all for watching this video of my 10 books that influenced me now and in the past. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.